Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, wherever the hell you're listening to this. You're listening to Fat Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports, the Sports Pod with Dad Buzz. This is JackKnife alongside your other host, the Zach Daniels. How we doing, Zach?
Fantastic. We're going to be a little bit quieter tonight because it's so late.
Yeah, it's a little late. My fiance is sleeping above me as we speak. If you're watching this on video, I'm in my future father-in-law's man cave, I guess you'd call it. You know what? I don't know. I don't remember what he calls it. Man cave.
Yeah, I'm just in the basement right now, but I'm writing up my little script, or at least some notes for the next movie review that's going to come out sometime later this week.
All right. Do you want to tell them what it is, or are you gonna wait? They're gonna wait for this.
I'll say it. It's the new movie Hustle with Adam Sandler. I'm jumping on it because it just came out. I love Adam Sandler. It has to do with the Sixers, and it's a sports movie. I mean, like, right up my fucking alley. It was perfect when it came out. And I just gotta say, real quick spoiler, it's super good. Like, it's awesome. If you're a basketball fan, it's amazing. If you're a sports fan, it's amazing. If you're an Adam Sandler fan, it's amazing. I'll get into it later, though.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, save it all for that episode of the Zach Downs. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we recorded. I mean, some things have gone on. I finally joined you at dodgeball. I gotta say, I want to thank you and Michael Gamba and the other guys for having me out there. It was pretty fun. I definitely would do it again.
Hell yeah, he's gonna love that name drop. But yeah, everyone that you and a couple weeks before we had Brick and T-Woes. They went there, Tommy Joe, and everyone had fun. I mean, you can't deny, right? It's an absolute blast. I mean, you're a little sore. I mean, my arm's a little bit tired, but that's what happens, man, when you go hard. And you just got to learn how to play, conservatively or aggressively, whatever you could do. But the more you go, the better you get. Obviously, it's like any other sport. So
yep. Most importantly,
it's awesome to have you there.
Yeah. Most importantly, you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. Yeah. We were going to record last week, but Zach, do you want to tell people what happened, or?
I fell asleep. you got home way later than I expected, and I just passed the fuck out.
I did. Did some training at the firehouse. It took way longer than I initially expected. Not gonna lie, I was kind of relieved when I heard you fell asleep. I was like, okay, I don't feel like setting up anyway, so. But it's okay. Yeah. We're not gone for a month or 5 months again. So
we're not sponsored. We can do this whenever the hell we want, and I think that's the beauty of it. And I mean, hopefully we can spread it out a little bit wider. I'm looking into ways we can do that, maybe, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we're not sponsored yet. If you want to sponsor us, nothing's sacred here. Unlike an NHL uniform, you could put your name on almost anything here. But let's get right into it. Let's start with baseball. Start with the Phillies. Zach, I've been busy following the Yankees, as you could tell by what I'm wearing. But last I heard, wasn't too good with news considering Bryce Harper.
Well, the team has been playing well, and Bryce Harper, he has this arm injury that they're saying for months they've been saying it could be like he needs Tommy John. Now, luckily, he's an outfielder, not a pitcher. The pitcher's like, a 12-month recovery. An outfielder is probably like 6 months. It's just not as much throwing. But I
thought he got hit in the wrist with a pitch or something.
Oh, we're gonna get there. But he had this injury this entire time. That's why he's been chilling in the DH spot for the Phillies. Yes. He's been chilling in the DH spot Nick Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber are not. Bryce Harper, everyone really underrates him as a fielder. There's no reason Castellanos and Schwarber would be in right and left field constantly if Bryce Harper wasn't injured and could throw. But he was killing it at the plate. He was putting up MVP-like numbers at the plate, like batting for like 320, tons of home runs, like one of the top leaders in the NL. RBIs finally, because last year he wasn't getting RBIs, even though he was doing everything for the team. But they've been playing great, and he's been playing great. And then Blake Snell goes a little bit too up and in. Luckily, not his face like last year. cracks him on I forget what part of his hand, but just right on the right hand, his good hand. And he was pissed, but he knew it wasn't Blake Snell's fault. A lot of people were giving him hell because he was like pissed off, yelling at Blake Snell, like throw it over the fucking plate. But he immediately like apologized as he was walking to the dugout. They're saying he fractured his thumb, and it's really bad. They say it's going to be 6 weeks, but that's like, lucky, I guess. We're praying that he comes back some point before the end of the season. But no matter what, it just blows. But this team is too good to not at least make a push for the playoffs, even without him. And I think no matter what, they need to make at least one trade for a pitcher, whether it's starter or reliever. I think you need to make a pitcher trade, and you have to get someone like an outfielder, like a center fielder, because center field has just been a black hole for them for 2 to 3 years. But just they're playing well though, and right now they're playing the Braves, who just are very good in general. But it's gonna suck without Bryce. Like, I don't know how it's gonna go. Everyone needs to start turning it up a little bit. Nick Castellanos especially, he's been rather disappointing for us this year. So he needs to turn it up a notch. Kyle Schwarber in June is better than Barry Bonds. Kyle Schwarber in the month of June is the best hitter in the history of the sport. I'm convinced. It's out of control. He hit his 22nd home run just before, and he had one last night. He has, I forget how many he has in this month alone. But in the past 2 years, like last June, he went on a tear for the Nationals. And this year, he's going on a tear with the Phillies. He's out of control in June. I don't understand. He's without Harper is going to suck, but you got to deal with it. It's no different than Carson Wentz going down, Nick Foles stepping in and winning the Super Bowl. That's a little bit of a tall task, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a Philadelphia next man up kind of attitude. That's what the freaking...
Yeah, that's the way sports is, man. Someone's got to step up.
Absolutely. Well, Bryce Harper, I didn't even know that happened, that Harper got pissed at Blake Snell and then apologized immediately after. Probably because it got overshadowed by that Mariners-Angels brawl the other day.
Oh, that was awesome. That was legit right there. I mean, it went... Who was it? It was Winker? Winker got hit and was like, what the hell, man? And he just went after... It was like that dude for the Reds a year or two ago that he went like after the other team's dugout, and Winker just started... He was just like, you want to fucking go? And he went out everyone at the who's dugout? Oh, the Angels. I'm sorry, it was the Angels. Yeah. And he was just going after everyone, and then it just turns into that was a real brawl, man. That was crazy.
I know we haven't had a good brawl, I don't think, in a while. I mean, it was pretty entertaining. But I'll get on to the Yankees. I mean, they're still doing well for the most part. They took some series on the road from some good AL East teams. They won 2 out of 3 in Toronto, won 2 out of 3 in Tampa Bay. Not to mention, they swept Tampa Bay 2 weeks ago. But they did get humbled a little bit by a good team in the Houston Astros. It was a 4-game series. And, being humbled might have been something this team needed. As great as they've been, they're 54-20. The World Series is won in June. And, that's a cliche. But they split the series with the Astros. They had an epic comeback on Thursday. They barely escaped that. They were down 3 runs twice. Aaron Hicks, of all people, hits a 3-run game-tying home run in the bottom of the 9th, and then Judge hits a walk-off to win it. The next night, Justin Verlander does, Justin Verlander things. I don't know how old he is, but he's still a monster. Then Saturday, unfortunately for me, I witnessed the first no-hitter of my life, like live. Well, not at the game. I mean like on TV in general. I've never seen it happen. And it was at the expense. Yeah, and it was at the expense of the Yankees. Well, do combined no-hitters really count, or I'm going to
say I think that's tough. It's like I want to just see one guy do it, you know?
Yeah, me too. Well, it was the combined no-hitter by the Astros on Saturday, and this is the first time the Yankees got no-hit since 2003, when it was a combined no-hitter by the Astros, also in the Bronx.
That's awesome.
Yeah, fuck off. But yeah. Then the next day, going to the 7th inning, the Yankees still don't have a freaking hit. If I'm not mistaken, they either broke or they definitely tied an MLB at least tied an MLB record for hitless innings in a row. So thankfully, Giancarlo Stanton broke that. The Yankees were down 3-0 at the time. I was like, just don't get no hit again. Because I don't need to freaking go on Twitter or Facebook or watch TV. Need to hear that. Look, the Yankees got no hit 2 games in a row. Because if it was almost any other team, everyone would be talking about the team that did it. But no, everyone hates us. But kind of justified. But I was just like, just don't get no hit again. And again, like Thursday, they had another epic comeback. DJ LeMahieu tied the game with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th, and Aaron Judge hit a walk-off home run in I forget if it was the 10th or 11th. But, yeah. One positive I probably can take out of splitting this series is that even when the Yankees aren't at their best, they're so good that they are a threat even when they're not at their best. But that's not going to cut it in October, especially against a team like the Astros. And my dad told me this as we were watching. Power pitching beats home run hitting. I mean, the Yankees lead the league in home runs, but this is something that's been a pet peeve of mine for years. You got to hit for contact, too. Who am I to criticize a team that's on a pace for a legendary season? But at the same time, you got to be able to do it all. And hell, they even barely won the game yesterday at the time of this recording. They were down 5-1 to the Oakland A's, who are somehow worse than the Cincinnati Reds right now. But thanks to 2 catcher's interferences by John Murphy, I think is it John Ryan Murphy? He was a Yankee at one point.
Wait, the catcher for the
A's, yeah. No, the A's. This was yes.
The A's. Sean Murphy, I think.
Well, hold on. I have it up right now. I got the MLB Game Day on because I'm an idiot. Yeah, it is Sean Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they had a good comeback last night against, I think, the worst team in the league. Hold on, I got the standings up right now.
They're pretty bad.
They're pretty bad.
25-50.
Yeah, and Oakland A's fans are basically, they're not showing up, but they're being vocal. They're like, hey, we'll come back. Just fix the way you run things around here.
Yeah, they are. They have the most losses in the league, like by far. 50 losses. Nationals are right below them with 48. And that's really bad.
Yeah, well, they're up 2-0 right now against the A's. Well, I mean, they 2 out, top of the 9th. A's have runners on the corners. Clay Holmes is, I think replacing Chapman as the closer. But who knows? Chapman's in rehab right now. Well, I think with the Somerset Patriots, who knows what happens if he comes back. But yeah, yes, sometimes a bit of a humbling is good for you. But even still, with what happened in that series, even though the Boston Red Sox have caught fire, you want to know how many games they've gained on the Yankees? A half.
None, because that's what the Phillies did with the Braves. Like during their run, they've actually, I think they lost ground to the Braves, and tonight they're playing the Braves, and Schwarber tied it up with another home run, and now they're losing again 4-3 late in the game. But freaking Braves, man, they're just a machine. They just keep pumping them out. That's why they're the defending champions.
Of course. Well, anyway, I think that's enough baseball for now.
But Sean Murphy, though, he's the guy that went viral because of the ball hitting off his ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Absolute unit.
Yeah. That was so hilarious.
All right. Enough baseball for now. If the Yankees do lose this game, I'll be freaking annoyed. Basketball season is over. The Golden State Warriors have defeated the Boston Celtics. Steph Curry won the MVP. Oh, hold on, let me just make sure I'm right on this one. I'm pretty sure Steph Curry won the MVP this year. And it's a big deal because it's the first time he's won. Yep, it was Steph Curry. Yep, that's Steph Curry's first ever Finals MVP, even though he's won it three other times. You know, I think Durant's won it. Andre Iguodala, I think, won it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you gotta say he's a top 10. I think he's definitely the best shooter in NBA history. Would you consider him a top 10 player? Yeah. Oh boy. In play, right? Just went out to see. Go on, Zach.
Yeah, no, Steph Curry, he could enter the top 10 list. I mean, he's without a doubt the best shooter in the history of the sport, and he still is. He claimed that throne like middle of like this year or last year. When did he even beat Reggie Miller's record like for 3-pointers? He's crushing records when it comes to shooting. And have you ever watched like some of his warm-ups? The guy's automatic. He's a cheat code. He makes shots from all over. There was one where he started from like the free throw line, and he backed up and he backed up and he backed up till he was like at half court, and he just kept making shots. Literally, he would make the shot back up, make the shot back up. He got to the half court line, made the shot, then started going forward again, closer to the basket, made a shot, move forward, made a shot, move forward. I was like, what the fuck is this guy? I don't understand it, but, you know, congrats to him. A lot of people were giving him a lot of flack over the past couple of years because the injuries and just not the same, you know, supporting cast. But this year, Wiggins, Klay Thompson finally made his return. Jordan Poole, I think is his name. Jordan Poole. They're stacked to go on another run again. And as long as they have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry, they're destined to win another one. If you ask me, that team is so good.
Absolutely, and you put some other notes here about, you know, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford.
Yeah, Jason Tatum was the big name for the Celtics, and he was entering like top 10, top 5 status in the NBA. Like, he was that good during the regular season, and even in the playoffs he played well, but the finals he just like no-showed. He just was not playing as well as we've seen Jason Tatum play. He didn't show up in the big moments. Jaylen Brown played very well, and Al freaking Horford at, like, you know, 85 years old, he played great too, but that's just not enough when you have Steph Curry on the other side and Draymond Green playing defense. They got in their head. They won their games. They did what they had to do. The Jason Tatum did not do what he had to do. Jason Tatum did not do what Steph Curry had to do, which was be the MVP. And that would have been Jason Tatum could have been a vote for MVP if they had won him and he played well. But Jaylen Brown ended up playing. Jaylen Brown could be a number one on another team, like several other teams, but he's on a team with Jason Tatum, so he gets less shine, you know?
Yep. Oh, good. The Yankees survive. But, hey, I mean, the Celtics are, I'd say they're still, like, kind of, like, in the middle of their window. It's not like they're past their, I don't think they're past their prime or anything. Yeah, they, like, I mean, you're going to hear from me later when I talk some hockey. Well, I'm going to talk some hockey, like, in a minute or so, but you're going to hear me say sometimes the best teams of all time need to, you know, come up just short, in order to learn how to win. But speaking of hockey, let's get into it. The Colorado Avalanche have won the Stanley Cup. They have defeated the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions in the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games. I would have liked to have recorded, prior to the series actually started. I would have predicted Colorado in 6. You guys, just so you guys do believe me, that was my initial pick. I did get the series I did predict the Eastern Conference Finals correctly, and my favorite team was in it. So, but yeah, Cale Makar is godly. Zach, you gotta watch this guy skate. Cale Makar's probably the best defenseman in the league. Only other guy that might give him a run for his money is Adam Fox of the Rangers, but Cale Makar won the Conn Smythe Trophy. That's the trophy for best player in the playoffs. He's the 3rd defenseman in NHL history to win the Norris Trophy and the Conn Smythe Trophy in the same year. The other 2 guys to do that are Bobby Orr and Nicholas Lidstrom, and that's great company to be in. Nathan MacKinnon got his first Stanley Cup, and this is a funny quote. If I'm not mistaken, MacKinnon and Sidney Crosby are from the same town in Nova Scotia. And there's a tradition with the Stanley Cup. Every player takes it back to his hometown. And Nathan MacKinnon said when Crosby won, he was the drunkest guy at Crosby's return home. So Crosby better be the drunkest person at his. So. And on to the other side of the ice, Tampa Bay's run at a three-peat is finished. They've won, how many series in a row is that? 4, 8, 11 series in a row, if I'm not mistaken. That's nothing to shake your head at. But poor Corey Perry, he lost his cup 3 years in a row. He lost to the Lightning twice, and then joins the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then loses in the Stanley Cup again. He become the first NHL player in history, though, to score a goal in the Stanley Cup Finals for 4 different teams. And I don't know if I necessarily consider this worse than what with Marian Hossa. Marian Hossa was on the Pittsburgh Penguins when the Red Wings beat them in 2008. He went on to join the Red Wings the next season, and the Penguins beat the Red Wings in the finals in 2009. Hossa recovered. He won 3 Stanley Cups with the Blackhawks shortly after. But I don't think you should feel too bad for Corey Perry. He did win the Stanley Cup in 2007 with the Anaheim Ducks. So, yeah, Colorado had more talent in every area except goalie. I think Vasilevsky's at 1,000 times better than Darcy Kemper. Kemper's okay. I've said this before. But Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar are just so talented that, it doesn't matter who Colorado has in goal. They're a threat to win the whole damn thing as they did this year. Tampa Bay had experience, but it's Colorado's time. They were one of those teams kind of similar to the Washington Capitals in 2018. They were just a team that had the talent to get it done. They just couldn't get over the hump. Well, Colorado finally got over the hump, and here they are. They are now the new defending Stanley Cup champions going into next season. So, some coaching news. The Bruins have fired Bruce Cassidy, which I'm not too surprised by that. He's a good coach. I wouldn't have been surprised if he stayed. The big surprise to me, though, is Barry Trotz being fired by the New York Islanders. I'm happy about that because I'm a Ranger fan. But I'm like, really? You're going to fire this guy? I get you guys didn't make the playoffs, but you could probably credit that to the fact that half your team was out for 2 weeks due to COVID. I don't count the long road trip as something against them because the Rangers had to do that from 2011 to 2014. Didn't affect them. They went to the conference finals in 2 of those seasons, the Stanley Cup final in 2014. So yeah, I don't want to hear that excuse. But yeah, I'll give the sickness, an excuse there. But yeah, I just do not get that firing at all. Barry Trotz did interview with the Winnipeg Jets. He is going to take a year off of coaching. But there was a big coaching hire just south of here in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Flyers signed John Tortorella as their head coach, and Brick was hoping he could join us, but he's on a work call right now, because I would have loved to have heard his perspective on this. Zach, John Tortorella has won the Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2004. That was their first Stanley Cup.
Wow.
And he's the winningest American-born coach in NHL history. And, that being said, he's still a highly controversial guy. I remember his days with the Rangers. Like, he had his moments. I loved him here. He's funny as hell. When he's angry, he's quite the character. You know, he's got some, he had some good runs in places, and then, he was in Vancouver for a year. Didn't last long there. It was a flat-out disaster. First intermission, he wanted to fight the entire Calgary Flames team. He had a decent stint in Columbus, where he got the team to overachieve a little bit, got them their first playoff series win in franchise history. And now he's going to the Flyers, and knowing the way he coaches, he wants, great two-way hockey, physical hockey. I mean, personality-wise, I think he's perfect for the Flyers. I really do. Now, the Flyers are going to be... I think it's safe to say the Flyers are in a rebuild. So let's see how he handles that.
It feels like a perpetual thing with the Flyers from what I've heard of them.
The past few seasons, they were they made the playoffs in 2000. Last I check, 2020 they were in the bubble. They lost to the Islanders though in the what round is that? Was it the first or second? I forget. But yeah, they need to start from scratch. Considering they traded they traded Claude Giroux. Who knows? They could sign him back. He's an unrestricted free agent. But yeah, the Flyers got some work to do. Now, on to my guys. And as you could see, I got a lot down for them.
Yeah, I know. I was like, holy shit, Jack.
All right. The New York Rangers lost in 6 games to the Tampa Bay Lightning. As I didn't want them to, but predicted them to. You could go back to the last podcast. That is what I predicted. And you know what? Getting this far and coming up short sucks, but you know what? I am so fucking proud of these guys. They showed a lot of fight, and you know what? They ran out of gas. They played 20 games in 40 days, and they took the defending champions, a juggernaut, to 6 games. I'm not going to let Game 3 haunt us too bad, because we were up 2-0 in that game, and that was kind of the turning point. I mean, I think it just showed that the Rangers need to learn some killer instinct. And, because the previous times this team was elite and competitive, killer instinct was something they lacked. The last time they only finished a team in 5 or less games. Oh, they only finished a team in less than 6 games once in that window, and that was to Pittsburgh in 2015. And you know what? This was amazing experience for these young guys. The Adam Foxes, the Keandre Millers, the Philip Hedels, the kid line who, as Sean McDonough said in Game 1, grew up right in front of our eyes. They held the Tampa Bay Lightning in the zone for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and they scored. I'm like, wow, there is so much potential to grow here. Like in Alexis Lafreniere, the way he played, he showed a lot of tenacity. He played very feisty. And, people like to criticize his stats, but it's like, you know what? He doesn't get a lot of power play time because the Rangers are kind of deep on the wing. Someone compared him to Brad Marchand, and let me just tell you, Zach, you've had to have heard me say this before. I loathe Brad Marchand. I think he's a horrible human being. Like if he gets he's lying on the ice, I feel zero sympathy for him. That being said, if Alexei Lafreniere can be even better than or match the type of play Brad Marchand is and be the same type of player, I'd be so freaking happy. So, yeah. Great growth from the kids. Off-season wish list. Maybe I'll go into more detail another day, but they definitely need to address center position. They need another top 6 center. Because Mika Zibanejad is good, but something that keeps him from out of being maybe a top 10 center in the NHL is that he isn't necessarily great on faceoffs, which isn't necessarily going to kill you. I mean, Tampa Bay wasn't a great faceoff team, but they had 2 great centers in Steven Stamkos and Braden Point. One guy I'd like that comes to mind for me is Mark Scheifele, because I'm going to bring up some numbers on Scheifele now. Mark Scheifele, Pro Hockey Reference. Yeah, Mark Scheifele of the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets who we've had good trades with in the past. He's a good center. He scored 70 points in 67 games this year on an underachieving Winnipeg Jets team. 29 goals, 41 assists, 70 points. And he is 6'3", 207 pounds. Now, I'm saying all this not coming up with any trade bait that the Rangers can use. That they have plenty of assets, not necessarily a first-round pick, but they deep in the defensive prospects. They could probably trade maybe a Hedl or anyone else on their team. I mean, like you said, it's a trade. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. But I was watching Ryan Strome in Game 2 skate to the net, and Strome's one of those guys that's not going to come back. He was playing with some kind of injury, pelvis injury, pelvic injury, it was some kind of body part that began with a P. But yeah, speaking of injuries, the Lightning had so many injuries. So Braden Point had like a torn quad. Ryan McDonough had like a mangled finger from the Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier. But I was watching Ryan Strome skate to the net, like drive in to the net like a good power forward would. The problem is, God bless Ryan Strome, he's trying. He's not a power forward. He's not a big guy. And the Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman, whoever it was, might have been Chernak or someone, considering he's out there with Panarin. Strome's out there with Panarin. He just easily, ties up Strome. The pass misses, goes to the far end of the board. A guy like Mark Scheifele is a guy, he is meat. He is he's a big guy. He's going to drive to the net. I told you how big he was. His size would definitely complement Artemi Panarin's skill well. Like, say it was Scheifele driving to the net on that play. That puck is, I'd say, at the least bouncing off one of their skates and going on goal or like in the slot area. Let me put it this way. If they still defend Scheifele correctly, they're going to have a much harder time than they would a small guy like Ryan Strome, if that makes sense to you, Zach. But, Scheifele's name has been coming up. I think that's who I want the Rangers to target this offseason. Another name that comes up to me is an unrestricted free agent, Vincent Trocheck of the Carolina Hurricanes. And, he's one of those guys. Is he a point per game guy? Hold on. Once again, Bill Burring it. Still with me, Zach, or am I boring you to tears?
I'm listening, but I'm also doing my doing a little work over here too, and that's why I let you have the floor. I don't know enough about free agency, or but I always listen to what you say. You seem to know hella information regarding. I didn't. You know how many of these free agents do you know? Is there there's some of the big ones that you like?
There's Johnny. I'd love to have Johnny Gaudreau, but he's going to cost too much money. Patrice Bergeron. Do you know who Patrice Bergeron is?
Heard that name.
Yeah, he's on the Bruins. Amazing faceoff guy, Stanley Cup champion. But he's likely returning to Boston, even though they're probably going to have to rebuild soon. They're considering trading David Pastrnak, which I think would be foolish of them, rebuilding or not. He's a young guy you build around. But believe me, I'd love for the Rangers to go to him and be like, hey, the Bruins window is likely closed. You're still a great hockey player. We got some young guys. You could definitely teach them some things. try something new. Kind of like Eric Karros when he went to the Cubs after playing for the Dodgers for so many years. I don't know if that name rings a bell to you.
Yeah, I actually know that Pastrnak.
Pastrnak, yes.
Yeah, my buddy, he's a Bruins fan, and he's talked about him, and he said he's good. I know that, so
yeah,
that name rung a bell. I mean, some of these hockey names are you just remember them because of the sound of them.
Yeah, Pasternak's on the trading block. Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane are basically a package deal at this point. They're likely going to be they could very well end up being traded too because the Blackhawks are a complete shit show. I mean, I think Patrick Kane, having either one of those guys in a Ranger uniform would be awesome, but one, you'd have to give up a lot. Two, that's not an area of concern. The Rangers need a center. And one more point on Trocheck, because that's who I was talking about. Even if Trocheck's not putting up points, he's not necessarily a point per game player, so I don't want him as much as I want Scheifele. But Trocheck forechecks really freaking hard, as my friend DJ Sabato, who played for William Patterson, told me. And that guy runs a skills development camp for youngsters in hockey. He's definitely in the top 2 of smartest people I know when it comes to hockey. But yeah, a trade for one of those wingers, the Rangers would be doing there. Something I was going to bring up later. Don't do what the Yankees did after 2017. The Yankees need to make tweaks after 2017. They didn't need to overhaul. I like Stanton, but they didn't need to get Stanton. That's a power hitting outfielder. You have Aaron Judge. You didn't need that. But anyway, back on track with the Rangers. They re-signed Vitaly Kravtsov. We thought that's a prospect who, again, throw him in the Scheifele deal. I thought that pair was heading for divorce. Maybe not. That relationship might be savable. But I'm surprised by this, considering he wanted out at the beginning of the year. But who knows? Maybe he knows he's got shows he wants to play, so that way some team takes him. But yeah, and they got him at a good deal. I don't remember it was under $1 million. Anyway, one guy who I've talked about how I don't expect Strome to be back. He's an unrestricted free agent. Strome on a Stanley Cup team would be a third-line center, not a second-line center with Artemi Panarin. One guy who said I initially didn't expect him back. I mean, I still kind of don't, but he said, I have some unfinished business here. Frank Vetrano, he's a great shooter. He just hasn't really found a home anywhere. Who knows? He might have found a home in New York, but who knows how much money he takes. I think he could definitely still help the Rangers, considering he's one of those shoot first guys, and the Rangers need one of those guys because sometimes they can be a bit too unselfish. Now, there are a couple head scratchers going in. One's pretty big. The other, I think, is a nothing burger. You've heard me talk about Capo Caco, right, Zach?
Yes. And I love that name, too, by the way.
Yes. He's one of the Rangers' young guys. He's only 20, 21 years old. He was part of that kid line with Hedl and Lafreniere, arguably the best in the playoffs. Now, not a lot of points. Unfortunately, some people remember is how he missed an empty net in Game 1 against the Carolina series. But, you could also chalk up him not getting a lot of points because when it came to, the kid line, he was the more conservative, cautious one of the kid line, whereas Lafreniere and Hedl will go down low and forecheck hard. Kakko was more the responsible one on defense, but who would still play very hard on the boards. His play on the boards really freaking good. But he got scratched in Game 6. An elimination game for Dryden Hunt. And head coach Gerard Gallant was very blunt with his answers about this, because this was the big thing after that. They do those in-game interviews, which annoy the crap out of me. It's like, Coach, why'd you scratch Kakko? Not telling you. And because I think he knew, he was going to get grilled for it. But, yeah, that really doesn't help the kid's confidence, I mean, that was, don't get me wrong, Gallant's been great. He's a Jack Adams candidate this year. That's a Coach of the Year trophy. And, this was just a very bad decision by Gallant. I still don't understand his reasoning behind it. And he said in breakup day that he expects him, as well as Lafreniere, to be in the top 6 next year, because they were the third line this year, which is great. And you know what? Kakko, when he was asked about it, and how fucked up is this? Kakko didn't know until, after warm-ups. Zach, did you...
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. My bad. That's pretty fucked up. So he didn't know until right before the game.
Basically. But you know what? One of the Rangers' Achilles heels the past decade or two is their development of young players. This definitely doesn't help. I mean, things might trend in the right direction. They're not bringing back the old head of player development, Gordy Clark, or whatever the hell his title was. His name was definitely Gordy Clark. I mean, but yeah, he wasn't very loved among the diehard Ranger fans like myself who knew that much. But listen, Kakko didn't pull Crafts off on breakup day. Kakko said on breakup day, this motivated him to do better and show why he shouldn't have been scratched, which I love to hear that. And he did chat. And general manager Chris Drury, I think he kind of knew Gallant made a mistake there. He sat down Kakko with conversations like, listen, you're going to be one of the future stars of this team. Be patient. It's all going to work out. You're going to be great. Who knows what was said, but I'm pretty sure Drury reiterated their confidence in him. So, but anyway, that's one head scratcher. The other one, this is the nothing burger. Arthur Staple put out a story, which of course was hidden behind a paywall for The Athletic. Yeah, I'm so cheap I won't even give him $1 a month.
I honestly, I fucking hate paywalls on articles. I get it. I'm just too broke to do that right now.
Exactly. But yeah, apparently Chris Drury was vocally disappointed in Artemi Panarin's performance in the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, Artemi Panarin had 16 points in 20 games. That's good. I think it's good. But the problem is, it's Artemi Panarin. He's much better than that. Now, so I'm going to cut him some slack because, one, I think he was hurt. Two, it's not like he completely vanished like Alex Rodriguez of the Yankees prior to 2009. He wasn't, completely invincible. But Arthur Staple said this could make Artemi Panarin want to seek a trade. Okay, one, he's got a full no-move clause. Two, you're just basing this off of that Drury was disappointed in Panarin. You know who else was probably disappointed in Panarin? Zach, you want to take the guess?
I have not a clue.
Panarin.
Oh, really?
Probably. I mean, Panarin knows how good he is. But, you know what? That's probably a nothing burger. Something for clickbait. Vince Mercogliano of USA Today, he's my favorite Rangers reporter. He's like, I've heard nothing to indicate that Panarin could want to trade out of here. Just no.
Nice.
But yeah. Jeez, I talked a lot about the Rangers. How long have we been recording? Oh, wow. We've been recording a long time. Who cares? I'll be editing this. You could go to bed right after we're done, Zach. But anyway, the trajectory is still up. I wanted the Rangers to win a playoff series, and anything after that was great gravy. They went to the conference finals. The Rangers this year were Phil Collins when he made the Tarzan soundtrack. Okay, Phil, it's just a movie about gorillas. You don't need to go crazy. But no, Phil Collins went crazy. He made something awesome. He did that for us. He didn't need to go that hard, but he did it for us. The Rangers did that for us. And
fucking yeah, Phil Collins, man. Love that shit.
Yeah. And, a lot of Ranger fans were sad on Twitter, rightfully so. But, when the clock hit 0, I just sat up and, gave it, a little slow clap. Like that. the same way my dad did in 09, the 08-09 season when the 09-10 season when the first time the Jets lost the first time the Jets lost the AFC Championship in that back-to-back run. You know what? We didn't expect it. I was really freaking sad. I was a sophomore in high school. My dad was happy. He had a smile on his face because, we were thinking at the time they were trajecting up, but, let's not get into that. But the Rangers have a lot more sustainability than the Jets did at the time. And Avery Zaretsky of Barstool, he's the Barstool, he tweets something like he's feeling bummed. And, I say something, kind of cheer him up. I'm like, and this is what I tweeted, word for word. Think of it as if it's 1990. Tampa Bay is the Pistons and we are the Bulls. No, I'm not saying we'll be that good, but the point is this should only feed their hunger in what was already a bright future. Now, Zach, I clearly stated in there that I don't expect the Rangers to be as good as the 90s Bulls. But of course, it's the Bird app. What do you think happens?
Oh, dude, yeah, I saw that. I tried to jump in a little bit. People, look, I gotta say though, I will push back a little bit. Comparing anything to the Bulls is a very bold statement, But I get what you're saying. I understand. Maybe a different group that maybe had that experience and then won something. But comparing them to like the best dynasty in the history of sports, or one of it could be number one, honestly. But.
Yeah, well, I'll get to why I use them in this as an example in a second. But yeah, you could compare even the bad boy Pistons, even the Pistons before the Bulls when they had to get over the Celtics hump, or going back to hockey, the Blackhawks when they lost the conference finals to Detroit in 09. They then went on a freaking dynasty run, winning 3 cups in 6-7 years, something like that. Or Tampa Bay, they got humiliated by the Blue Jackets before 2020. Like, they won the President's Trophy and then got swept and had to face failure and adversity. And I hate this example. The Boston Red Sox in 2003, after they lost to the Yankees, and then became the only team in MLB history to come back from a 0-3 deficit against those same Yankees in 2004. But why did you use the Bulls as an example? Because they're the greatest dynasty in the history of sports. And even they had to go through some adversity. Even they weren't champions right away. They tried to spin words into something I'm not saying. Like, one guy couldn't even spin what I was allegedly spinning correctly. Like, you're comparing what the Rangers are to the Bulls. The Bulls have 6 championships. Blah, blah. Okay, even if I was comparing the Rangers to those Bulls teams, it's not at the same stage. Before Jordan showed up, the Bulls had nothing.
Yeah, and he wasn't, and people forget, like, Jordan was on the Bulls in the 80s. Like, they had to grow. He had to grow, and then they turned into an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah, the greatest dynasty in the history of sports were not champions right away. That's the point I was trying to make. But yeah, and of course, Penguins fans are still dumb. Like, I only like 4 off the top of my head I could think of. Only 4 that actually like. 1 urinating tree, 2 my friend Chris Gonzalez, and 2 guys that played for William Patterson, Kurt Schmidt and Nick Brown. There's probably another Penguins fan on the William Patterson team that I probably like.
They are very annoying online from what I've seen. I don't even really follow much of hockey Twitter, but good Lord, I couldn't believe your tweet like gained traction like that. That was like surprising as shit. People were pissed off about it, and I'm like, whoa, maybe it's a tall statement, but I mean, like, I don't like everyone. That's the problem, man. Everyone takes shit too literally when you read it in, no context. I mean, I don't know. Everyone likes to take tweets and just get mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, Penguins fans were. it's, the Penguins went bankrupt twice, and they're like, and people will be like, they had 5 Stanley Cups. How did that happen? You listen to their fans talk. Oh, okay. Like there's this, I forgot this guy's name. I don't even want to freaking give him any attention, because twice he was like, the first time it was like the Rangers in the conference, either against the Hurricanes or against the Lightning in the conference finals. This should be the Penguins if only Trouba didn't get hurt. And even in the Stanley Cup finals, like, I'm just watching this thinking how the Penguins should be here, and if only Trouba... I get every hit Trouba threw, and that's in the playoffs, was clean or at worst towed the line. Like Nicholas Kronwall or Scott Stevens type of hits. Were they hard? Yes. Were they dirty? For the most part, no. And, Penguins fans are happy that they lost. Yeah, you could put a banner that you beat a backup goalie. Yeah, you guys blew a freaking 3-1 lead. Cry more. And, you tell them to cope, enjoy their copium after they blew a 3-1 lead. And they like to say, you've had only one Stanley Cup since You've only had one Stanley Cup since World War II, like every other idiot. It's like, hey, listen, you guys have 5 Stanley Cups? You got those Stanley Cups because the NHL had to set you up for success to keep you guys from out of bankruptcy twice, right? Like, are you actually proud of that? That's like the same energy as Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm self-made. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million. Oh no, I got political there. Banish me. But gee, I don't know if I'd necessarily call that Astros asterisk, but geez, people are gonna make fun of that people who are knowledgeable of that will make fun of you for that. I'll give Pittsburgh credit. It's a great football city. They show up no matter what with the Steelers. But yeah, the Penguins went bankrupt even after they won back-to-back cups with Mario Lemieux. That's kind of sad. Don't act like if you got I love this is an analogy I came up with. If you got put into pinch run at third, don't act like you hit a triple. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. It's a good one.
Yeah, they're still going on about that freaking Trouba hit on Crosby. I don't even think he tried to hit him. He tried to poke check the puck, and it was an awkward collision. Yeah, like I said, how did this franchise this franchise with 5 Stanley Cups go in the past 30 years, go bankrupt twice? Listen to their fans talk. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't. That's pretty impressive. I never heard of that. That's kind of it is kind of pathetic though. I don't know how you manage that personally.
I don't know. Well, now they got bought by the freaking sports group that owns the Red Sox. So I don't think they necessarily need to worry about money anymore, but who knows? Once the Penguins suck again, we'll see if the fans still show up. Who knows? But even if they do go bankrupt, the NHL won't let them freaking fall back. The freaking commissioner, Gary Bettman, loves Sidney Crosby. And as long as Crosby's on that team, they'll get a little bit of favoritism. Listen to me, I sound like a loser. Losers make excuses like I am right now. But whatever.
Yeah, you really hate the Penguins, huh?
A lot of people do.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. My fiance thinks I'm wrong for hating the Penguins more than I hate the Flyers. I'm like, no, Flyer fans are honest about how they are. But what was I gonna say? But back to the Rangers. The goal was accomplished. You put the league on notice. You showed them you guys are back. You guys get a solid A+ from me. So, but the moral victories are over. No more moral victories after this. Now, it's time to bring the cup back to New York. Maybe a few times. Once is nice, but let's leave a true statement. So that's basically all I want to. It's basically what I wanted to talk about tonight. I mean, I went on a tangent with the Rangers. I think that might have taken up half the podcast tonight.
Yeah, no, you went in on hockey. It's late, so I mean, I was gonna be coming in kind of slow on all the other topics anyway. But hey, the hockey season just ended, so you had to get your stuff off your chest. We haven't talked in a couple weeks, and it's just good to sit down and vent a little.
Yeah, if only Brick wasn't on his freaking phone call, he could join the Penguins hate with me. And Flyers fans hate the Penguins more than I do. So yeah, it would have been funny. It's like the Ted video I made. Hey, I'm really sorry. Yeah, me too. He's worse than us.
Yeah, no, that was honestly one of the best videos you've ever made. That was so fucking funny.
Speaking of videos I made, the Thor one after the Lightning beat the Rangers, I mean, that blew up on Facebook, and I think we kind of got a little bit of a following of Tampa Bay Lightning fans now. So, I imagine they're a little disappointed to find out I'm not a Tampa Bay fan too. But hey, assuming one of you actually listened to this, I mean, thanks for coming on.
I hope some Lightning fans are listening. Hey, shit, I'll start paying attention to the Lightning if I can. Damn, let's start pandering to the crowd.
Yeah, well, listen, Zach, we're trying to get you into hockey. The Lightning may have lost this year, but they're not going away. Penguins,
you just said they almost three-peated.
Yeah, three-peat. And Penguins, I think, are going away. I think they're going to need to rebuild. I don't know if they're going to be able to afford to keep Malkin or Letang, let alone both. I mean, it sounds like they're trying to keep a dinosaur in Jeff Carter. But anyway, I talked enough hockey tonight. Anything else you want to say, Zach?
No, are we about to close out the episode?
Yeah, you look like you want to go to bed.
I don't know if I'm going to go to bed. I think I'm going to finish up this movie review. I'm just, I'm writing my notes down and making sure I speak clearly like a normal human being. But I'm trying to think. Any other fucking closing thoughts? No, honestly, I was just glad that we were able to sit down and do this because we haven't been able to the last couple of weeks, and it's good to take a chill pill, sit down, and talk a little sports, even if it's very briefly about what I know. You went bonkers on hockey tonight. So how long have we gone?
Well, we probably gone for it says here like an hour and a minute, but you know how we record. I hit the record button before we officially start. So
we went an hour.
Yeah, we did. But anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, and on Instagram and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FUNTS Podcast, and on Facebook at Fat Athletic Nerds Talking Sports. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube too. Yeah, I botched the outro, but it's too far. This is JackKnife alongside the Zach Daniels. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Let's go Yankees.